Alright everyone, now it's time to start working on the read expert. So the first thing what we want to do, let's say we want to give some value here, and on click of this button we want to pass this value to our Redux store, and let's see how we are going to do that. So for that, the first thing we have to create a folder inside this add notes. So what we will be doing, we will be creating store for each and every individual pages, and I think that will be much more convenient. So here I'll create one store, and this store will be consist of some files I think we have already discussed. So the first thing will be actions, the second one will be your reducers, and the third one will be sagas, and there will be another file, and that will be action types. Alright, now we'll go to this particular action. Now what this action is all about. Now action is simply a JavaScript function. Now this action should have a type property. Now what this will do, this type property will be basically used to identify that particular action, and based on that it will do certain operation, and it is mandatory. All right, and there can be an additional parameter that you can pass to that particular action. That's it. So these three is very important. You should know that action is simply a JavaScript function. There should be a type property, it should return, and you can pass additional parameter. Now let's create one simple function here. So I'll just create here function, and then I'll give, for example, get to do name. So what we want to do, basically whatever value we will be putting in this particular input, we want to pass that value, and that value we want to access here, right? So that means it should take one additional property, so that I already discussed. So it should take the to do name. Sorry, I'll give here why I'm giving to do here. This will be notes, sorry. So this will be get note value, and then it will take the note value. All right, now at the end what it will return a type property that I already told you, and this type property will be like any string you can give, like to identify this one. So because the name of this get notes value, so you can give here, for example, get notes value. Now what this will do, this will make this particular action unique based on this type. You can't give same type in multiple actions, it will not work, it will break. All right, so this is the main reason why we have given this type parameter to differentiate between multiple actions. Now here, now you will understand why I have created these action types. Now here basically we are passing as a string. Now let's say you have 100 actions, and for example in some other action you have given the, by mistake you have given the same name, all right, because this is a string, and in that case your application will break. So that is the reason it is much more convenient that you will create this particular action types in a separate file, and then you will import here, and you can take that one as a variable. So let's see how we are going to do that. So because this is the type for this particular action, so I'll just copy this, and then what you have to do, you have to just come here, and this will be simply export const, this will be a variable, and then I'll just take here get notes value. Now what this will be, this will be equal to, sorry, this will be equal to this string. That's it. Now what this will do, now this is very easier for you. You have just separated your action types and action into different files, and now what you have to do at the end, you just have to import this particular action type here. So now this will be get notes value, and you have to, sorry, this will be get notes value, and just have to import it from action types. That's it. All right, so now this is much more convenient. So it should return this particular type, and there should be a note value, so it should also take this note value, and at the end we just have to export this function, and this is done. So this is basically how you can create action. So for example, let's say for some actions you don't have any parameters, so you will not pass this. Simple as that. If you have multiple parameters, let's say second param, you have third param, you have fourth param, so you have to give in that particular order only. All right, so this is very important. So first it should return note value, then it should return second, then it should be third or fourth. If you just mismatch this one, then the order will be different, and you will get different value in your saga. All right, so that also you have to consider. So for now I'll just remove this part, and we'll remove from here also. All right, so this is your first action that we have created. Now what we have to do basically, from this component we have to pass the value to this particular action, and let's see how we are going to do that. So for that, first I think we have already created this handle on change. I'll take some state here. So this will be, for example, nodes name, and set nodes name. This will be equal to use state of empty, and here at the end what you have to do is just have to take the value from event dot target, and if I just log here and let's see what we are getting. So this will be value. Let's remove this and let's save and check what we are getting. All right, so if I just go to console and I'll type here first note. All right, so now you see that we are getting the value. Oh, I think there is a huge mistake. I think the same thing we have given here to do, so I think we have just have to change this one to note. Sorry. So this is fine. So now you'll understand that now we are getting the value here. So what we have to do, we just have to set that value. So we'll take this method. So this will be set nodes name, and here we'll pass the value, and this is done. Now what we have to do basically, on click of this button we have to pass that value to our action. So that should be on click method. So now I'll take here on click, and this will be handle click, and I'll just quickly create this one. So this will be handle click, and now what we have to do basically, on click of that method we have to pass the value to the action. And how we are going to do that? Now if you remember this one, we will be able to do that using use dispatch. I think we have already discussed this one, right? Use dispatch method. So what this method will do, this will call this particular action, and this action basically will take one property, and that is parameter, that is node value. And here the node value is basically your node's name. So from here basically you are dispatching that particular action with this value, and it will receive here. That's it. Now what we have to do, we just have to take here. So I'll just import, for example, this will be import use dispatch. You can see that from React Redux, and now you can see that what this is do, this is basically a hook, and that access the Redux dispatch action, and it will return the dispatch function basically. All right, so now how you can use that, you just have to take one particular variable and you have to use this. So I'll just copy this part, and you just have to take it like this. That's it. And then what you have to do, you just have to take this dispatch that you have created. So this will dispatch any action, and then what you have to do, can you guess? So you just have to import this action here. So this will be get nodes value. You can see that from action. Now what this will take, this will take the parameter, and you can see that we are already getting the suggestion that it will take a nodes value. And what is your nodes value? Your nodes value is this nodes name, and that's it. Now this is basically done, and this what it will do, on click of that, this will dispatch your value to this particular action. All right, so for now it will not work, and the reason is that very simple, because we haven't connected our React with Redux store. But I will give you some simple example that how you can basically dispatch a particular action. So in the next video what we will be doing, let's create a root saga and root reducer, and let's set up the store first, and then we will be start working on the API part. Let's do that in the next video.